Hello guys, welcome to the Solution Architect Show, episode number 3. Your host is Ben. In this episode, I would like to cover my journey on how and why I want to become a solution architect. Before I do that, I just want to be very clear that I'm not saying a solution architect is better than a developer. You can enjoy a great career as a developer. However, rightly or wrongly, in many companies, solution architect is more highly valued than developers. Often, solution architect will have better access to training, and solution architect will also work directly with more senior managers. Therefore, the work solution architect did in the project is much more visible to people in the company. So here's how I get started in my IT career. So I started as a graduate developer, and over the years I'm becoming a senior developer. While I was working on one of my first major projects on my first job, I remember I was using ASP.NET Form. It wasn't even MVC and jQuery. By the time we finish our project, that's probably between 9 or 12 months, that project. And we have a new version of .NET released and a new version of jQuery released. I was asking myself, hey, I just spent so much time and effort learning all this new technology. Now do I have to start it all over again? I asked my manager and some of the senior guys around me back then, and all they told me, yes, if you want to be a great developer, that's what you need to do. Just keep on learning new technology and learn fast. Back then, one of my senior guys did mention that if you do not like this, you should talk to the SharePoint team. But he did warn me that you might not like it. So I went to the SharePoint team, and one of my mates actually working there, and I bought him a coffee. And I had a chat about this SharePoint thing. That's probably back in 2007, and with the SharePoint 2007. And I asked him, hey, how this SharePoint thing works? And he told me this SharePoint was really a sort of out-of-box product. It's like a platform. You can do customization in it. It can really do everything you want. And the company loving it. And the sales guy can sell this project very easily. And once I get it how it works, they told me it is because the platform is really big. There's a very steep learning curve. It took between 9 to 16 months to really understand everything within SharePoint. It's probably not even everything. Probably I say maybe 70 to 80% of SharePoint. However, the good side, which is what I'm looking for, he mentioned, it is the release cycle is every 3 years. And that means once you pass that learning curve, you only need to learn it. You only need to learn it once and update it yourself every 3 years. Hey, I thinking this is a really good idea instead of learning it every 12 months. Now I only need to learn every 3 years. And because SharePoint is, as a product, it's always having this backward compatibility. Therefore, you don't need to learn everything new every 3 years. You only need to learn very little, in fact, what's new every 3 years. Then I really like this idea. I'm all into it. And then I work in SharePoint for a good 5 and 6 years. I enjoy a good career, and once I gone past that learning, the steep learning curve stage, then everything is easy. So there's a no code solution. You can do custom development, but every project is almost like a repeat of another project, and you sort of doing things very similar, and structuring the project very similar. And I don't. Essentially, I'm a sort of expert in SharePoint, and by looking back, I'm thinking the reason I can be an expert in that field is because my knowledge does not go obsolete very easily. So it's allowed me to spend time learning and to become an expert before my knowledge expires. And then actually move on to another company and was trying to promote SharePoint within the company. Once I had a conversation with the company's IT delivery manager, I told him, hey, why are you not spending money on SharePoint? This is really good. I've done it in another company. I'm sure that I can help you to make it awesome. And then he said, okay. I'm actually having a meeting with a independent analyst about this SharePoint thing. The analyst is actually from Gartner, once I found out. So he invited me to that meeting. So during that meeting, this is probably back in the 2015, between 2015 and 2016, I think. And the Gartner said, the SharePoint developer is dead. The SharePoint as a platform isn't, because it's Office 365 and the SharePoint is still there. But the SharePoint development is dead because there isn't a very clear path, or Microsoft isn't promoting you to actually customizing SharePoint in Office 365 directly. Instead, there are other ways of doing it, and you don't even need to know SharePoint. They sort of make SharePoint as a service. They expose those things as API, and you can consuming those API in any language. It doesn't have to be C#. It can be in PHP or Java. And I was literally shocked after the meeting. I was like, hey, I thought I had a good career. I thought SharePoint is the thing. And now I have to start all over again, just like the first time when I did this ASP.NET project. I looked a bit sort of upset, and then my manager sort of had chat with me, and I still remember I asked him the question, hey, you've been in IT for quite a long time. How you actually sort of have a good career? How you make IT as a career? He sort of smiled at me and told me sort of his view on how this can be done. Sort of looking back, he really mentored me and sort of coaching me. I really want to see, really appreciate that. What he said back then is, you need to find a job, not a job. You need to find a skills required by this job that does not go obsolete at all, or has a all the skills has a very long lifespan. Then literally I spent weeks of looking at sort of the job title and see what sort of work in IT that actually be able to do that. That still require me to have a technical background. Well, obviously you have your business analyst and project manager, and recently you have your agile coach or scrum master, but I don't really into those things. And then the sort of solution architect role just sort of appear in front of me, and look at this sort of the job description. I actually even talk a solution architect in that company. And I find that I talk to him and I look at the job description. I was telling myself, hey, this is the job. This is the job I'm looking for. So remember in the last episode, I mentioned about, hey, what solution architect does? It's actually solving problem. If you think about it, any job will require you to solve a problem. as you move higher, like all the senior roles in the company, all it does is require you to solve a bigger problem. So this is really good. So once you understand or learn how to solve problems, then those skills are never obsolete. In fact, the more problem you solve, the better you are at solving problems. And also solution architect require you to have a strong technical skills. But it is different when you learn those technical skills. As a developer, you ask, how? How can I use this technology? How this works? How to configure it? You want to get hands-on and configuring it and playing around with it. But an architect, you ask why. Why you want to use this technology? Why it is better? Why we have to use it? Why we can't just use the other one? So you really need to ask those questions. Although you sometimes you still need to get hands-on too. I actually want to get hands-on because I'm still a techie in my heart. I still want to get hands-on. But the why is more important as a solution architect. Also, solution architect require you to be an excellent communicator. So those communication skills, or we call it those soft skills, are never go obsolete either. So you basically need to learn how to communicate with your customer, with project manager, with developer, and you also need to be able to listen effectively. So learning those skills, although initially the transition, as I mentioned, from developer to solution architect, learning those skills is hard. But remember, once you learn it, you got it. It's kind of like learning a bicycle. Once you learn how to ride a bicycle, you don't have to relearn it again. And sort of the fourth one is the solution architect I mentioned in the last episode is you need to get to understand the business. So how company does in business will not change very often. So this will fit into the long lifespan category. And the fifth one is solution architect is a great leader. So leadership skills never expired. And the last one is a solution architect require you to be a lifelong learner and spend time on personal development. So those personal development skills are never go obsolete either. So you need to be able to learn how to set goals, how to draw up a plan, and how to be able to achieve your goals and review sort of your goals, setting new goals, motivate yourself, and overcome your failure, overcome your fear, and be able to motivate yourself when you fail. And those things never expire as well. Okay, so now I can say that the reason that I want to be a solution architect, it wasn't really for the money, but it is that by working as a solution architect, it's kind of I'm working in an apprenticeship for becoming a better problem solver, for becoming a better leader, a better communicator. And this will help me to have a better IT career and reach my goal to either have my own IT company or become a CIO one day. And that's why I want to be a solution architect. I hope my story will sort of be either some inspiration or just sort of experiences to explain why I see solution architect is actually a better role for the software developer to transition into. Okay, here's the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Thank you. I'll see you next time.